on Monday we were talking about what seems to have become an accident black spot on Olsager Road. This is at the junction of the A500. You come off the D road, go up to the top of the slip road. There's markings on the road to give way. You can go right for Olsager, left for Audley, or straight on to get back onto the D road. There have been 3 collisions in the past week or so, including one which left a woman with serious injuries. When we spoke about it earlier in the week, here's what listeners had to say about that junction.
It's quite nerve-wracking. I've had a few near misses. The worst one was when a Range Rover, a lady driver, it came up and over the top of the slip road, straight on down the other side, never bothered giving way, never bothered stopping. The only reason I didn't collide is because I was reacting to her doing it, because I was preempting what was going to happen.
The road, it's so acute at 90 degrees. If you go for turn left to go into Audley, if you approach it too quickly, you finish up on the other side of the road. I've seen it happen. It's nearly happened to me.
A lot of people are saying something needs to be done. A lot of people are saying it could be changed to 30 miles an hour on the road past the slip roads instead of 60. There could be a stop sign instead of a giveaway sign at the top of the slip roads. There could be a sign there saying accident black spot to make people take a bit more notice.
Well, listening to that is Adam Jogi, the Labour MP for Newcastle under Lyme. Good morning. What are your thoughts on this junction?
Good morning, Stuart, and thank you very much indeed for having me on today and for giving voice to my constituents in Newcastle Lyme. And I suspect many over the border in Cheshire too who are forced to navigate what is a very, very dangerous slip road indeed. And the comments, as I say, for my constituents just there speaks to the severity and seriousness of this issue and the need to get something sorted and sorted quick.
Your name came up in our conversations the other day. This is what Sue in Audley said.
We had Adam Jogi, one of my friends, Jill. She actually wrote to him about how bad it was, and she got a reply back from the council, from the head of highways, and he said there was nothing wrong with the junction, but there definitely is.
2 points on that. First of all, did you get that letter, do you know?
Yes, Stuart, we received a response in July, and Staffordshire County Council essentially said something along the lines of, in a paraphrase, but the sentiment was that the concerns raised by me and by my constituents didn't meet the threshold or the criteria. I think the word used was for speed-related collisions for the council to carry out any further investigations. We've made the strongest possible representations on behalf of all those who've written to me and raised their concerns, either family members or them directly having to navigate that dangerous slip road. And I'll continue to push the county to wake up and smell the coffee before anything really, really serious happens.
Is that your concern? Certainly it was the concern of many listeners that nothing will happen, nothing will change on that junction until something happens. There have been several accidents, 3 in a week last week on that junction.
Well, look, it is serious. Those of us who live, learn and work in and around Newcastle Lyme will often use the slip road. I certainly do when we're attending events and constituency commitments and helping people up in Audley in the northern part of the constituency. And you can see the danger there in front of us, and for the council to sit on the hands and say that, oh, well, it doesn't quite meet this criteria, you can understand why people are concerned and think that nothing's going to happen until something serious does. So I'm urging the county council, and will continue to do so, and I have done in written form and in the meetings I've had with the new leadership so far, to act now so that we can protect the livelihoods and, most importantly, the safety of local people who are just simply trying to go about their business. That's what I'm focused on, making sure that we give the right support, the right safety measures for the people who are just trying to get by, get on.
And so what's your experience of that junction? Do you feel safe driving it?
Well, look, my wife's a much safer driver than me, but the simple point is you can see the dangers posed. I invariably tend to be in the front seat doing work as somebody else is taking me around. But as a rule, you can see the dangers that the slip road poses to people, and the sooner we get something sorted, the better. And Parliament will be back in a couple of weeks after the conference season. I will be picking this up again with relevant ministers to see what support we can get from Westminster on this. But certainly we need the county council to act. We need the county council to act fast.
One of the local councillors, Rhys Machin, Reform UK councillor for Audley and Chesterton, he's a Staffordshire County councillor, he had this to say.
Honestly, mate, it's one of them things where it's really increased. I couldn't give you an exact reason why, but it's very clear to everybody, including myself, that something needs to be done. I think too many of these incidents have happened, and I think, why should we wait for many more to happen? Because somebody could get even more seriously hurt, and that's not what I want, and I'm sure it's not what anybody else wants.
One of the other issues here is that Highways England is responsible for the A500 and getting them involved, and sometimes, I'm not sure this is the case, but sometimes they pass the buck to each other between councils, don't they, when there's two authorities involved in it. How do you get them working together?
Well, look, there's two things to that question. Firstly, I'm glad that the County Council of Restore have met, supports my calls for action. I'm looking forward to him working with me to get the County Council to act. He has an important role to play as a County Council, obviously, and I would urge him to sign the Make Audley Slip Road Safe petition that I launched, because the louder and stronger the voice from local people, the more likely we are to have an impact on the leadership of the county. But your point about getting the relevant agencies together is so important. It's something that I've been completely focused on in relation to Wally's, and making sure the right people are around the table there, and making sure we have the right people around the table here is vital. So we've made those representations to various partners. We'll continue to urge them to get around the table to find the solution, because ultimately, Stuart, this is about the health, wealth and safety of local people, and we cannot afford not to act and allow something that nobody wants to see to happen because of failures of institutions who should know better and should be getting their act together.